Where have all the home buyers gone? Our market is obviously in flux. Things today are not what they were just 6 months ago. So in today's video, I'm going to give you some facts if you're thinking about buying or selling a property right here, Southwest Florida. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? I'm Rob Wozner, a local realtor here in Southwest Florida. If this is your first time on my channel and you want to know everything about eating, sleeping, working, playing, and the real estate market, this is the channel you need to subscribe to. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video. And I have people from across the country and around the world reaching out to me every single day, and I absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about making a move here to Southwest Florida, you need to take the first step. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, however you want to get in touch with me. I have the systems and processes dialed down to make this transaction as smooth and easy as possible. I have your back when buying or selling property in Southwest Florida. We all know that buying a house is a very emotional and stressful issue. Last year, the buzz was that the housing market was on fire and you need to hurry up and buy that house and you need to sell that house right away. It's the best time to sell a house. Now, all of a sudden, things have dramatically changed. Right now, we're seeing a market pullback. The stock market has pulled back drastically. Bitcoin has lost half its value. Inflation is sky high, and mortgage rates have increased drastically. It's very easy for everyone to get caught up in this narrative. I want to give you some facts that you can take back to your friends at work, at the bar, and take back to your family so you're ready and armed with the knowledge about what's really going on in today's real estate market. So where are all the buyers? Well, the number one reason that I am hearing that people don't want to buy a house is interest rates. So here's a chart of the difference between a 4% interest rates, what they were back in January when the market was white hot, and today where interest rates are around 6%. So let's take a look at how this would affect a home buyer for a $400,000 home. So essentially a 30-year mortgage back in January would be roughly $2,337. And today your payment would be up to $2,765. That's up $550 a month. So when you think about it, $550 a month, that's a lot of money for the average family. Mortgage rates have more than doubled in just the past year. Just this increase, coupled with obvious higher housing prices, makes the median monthly mortgage payment nearly 2/3 or 63% more expensive than at the same time a year ago, and more than 78% more expensive than it was just 2 years ago. Mortgage interest rates are expected to keep rising, likely surpassing the 6% that we see right now in response to the high inflation that we're dealing with. This could accelerate the housing market correction, which is already well underway, by making purchasing a home even more expensive, especially for cash-strapped first-time homebuyers, pricing many people completely out of the market. For a while, we were seeing buyers leaving the market because they couldn't find anything to buy. But now there are buyers who can't make the numbers work anymore. Many experts predict that the prices will have to adjust, given buyers' budgets being stretched so thin. A single percentage point increase in mortgage rates can result in buyers paying hundreds of dollars more a month on a home and tens of thousands of dollars over the course of a 30-year mortgage. The important thing to remember is that we are obviously in a transition period where prices are likely to continue to rebalance. Prices won't outright decline year over year this year. However, we may see prices begin to decline in 2023. I'm convinced that the demand for housing is just so great at a time when the shortage of homes available for rent and for sale is too significant for prices to fall across the board in any meaningful way. The Consumer Price Index, which is a federal government measure of inflation, was up 8.3% in August compared with just a year ago, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics report released on Tuesday. Inflation fell from 8.5% year over year increase in July to 9.1% in August. Yet, that's not enough of a drop to prevent the U.S. Housing Federal Reserve from continuing to hammer the economy. And the Fed's actions are likely to push mortgage rates up even higher. The Fed is expected to hike its short-term interest rates at its meeting next week, which actually just happened yesterday, and they increased it by 75 basis points. Mortgage interest rates are separate but typically follow the same trajectory as the Fed rates. So when the Fed jacks up its rates in an effort to make borrowing money more expensive and weaken demand for products and services, mortgage rates generally tick up as well. All right, so let's talk about the next factor, which is the market pullback. When we hear about the market pullback, people assume that prices are just falling left and right. And to be fair, we are seeing a lot more price reductions than we have in the past years. But let's actually take a look at the final sales prices of what's going on today. Back in January, the average sales price of a single family home here in Naples was $549,000. If you look at July of last year, which is the most current statistics we have, the average price was $553,000. Now, I did a quick search, and within the Naples market in the first week of September, the actual average sales price was up to $575,000, and homes are still selling at around 94% of their asking price. So this kind of bucks the narrative that prices are pulling back dramatically. Now, there are a lot of price decreases, absolutely. Are there a lot of sellers that got a little over their skis regards to what their house was actually worth? Absolutely. And now we're starting to see those prices kick back a little bit. Now, looking back a year ago, you could have listed your house for $500,000, even though it was only worth $450,000, and you still probably would have received a couple of offers. Today, you have to be smart about it and look at the market conditions. You have to look at your upgrades or lack of upgrades and make a decision on what's actually happening in the market that you actually want to sell in. So if prices aren't actually pulling back as drastically as we think, what is the opportunity out there for buyers? Well, the first thing is you have less buyers out there looking for properties, since many of the buyers are just sitting on the fence, sort of waiting to see what happens. So this is causing sellers to become more realistic and taking a little less than their list price, which is a positive for buyers. The data suggests that 90 days ago, sellers were getting 99.9% of their list to sale ratio. So basically, anything they listed for their property, were typically getting it. In today's market, the average sellers are getting about 96% of what they're asking. So even though prices have gone up, sellers are still getting a little more comfortable with the idea that they may not exactly get what they've been wishing for. We also see this on a national level. Redfin just stated that home touring activity took a nosedive, and the share of sellers dropping their price remained near record highs. Touring activity as of September 4th was down 38% from the same time last year, compared to 3% increase during the same time last year, according to the home tour technology company ShowingTime. As a result of decreasing demand, fewer homes sold above list price than any time since February 2021. An average sale to list price ratio fell to its lowest level since March of 2021. The typical home that sold during the 4 weeks ending September 4th went for 0.3% below final list price. Following a year and a half of average home selling above list price, you could see this is a starting of a trend downward. All right, so the next item to consider if you're considering buying or selling a home would be builder incentives. In 2008, 2009, you had builders shutting down and companies going out of business left and right. That left us with something like 1.5 million homes that were never built and never showed up in our current marketplace. So over the past 5 to 6 years, builders have been trying to catch up, buying land, trying to figure out the supply issue, the labor issue, and it's become an issue where we don't have enough homes for the amount of buyers who are currently looking. So now, for the first time in a while, we have more supply in the new construction realm than there are buyers. The reason, many buyers are still acting very skittish. They don't know what's going to happen year to year. Now they would rather go on a resale and buy something that they know is going to be theirs in 30 days. They know the interest rate, they know what the market is, and they're locked in. So many builders are now trying to figure out what to do, and they're counteracting this with some new options of money. I have seen free lots, discounts on lots. They're giving you financial incentives to lock in your rate for like 6 to 9 months. A lot of things to get you back through the door and looking at new construction. This is definitely an opportunity for buyers if you take advantage of it. I think this is a big opportunity that people are missing in this market right now. And remember to reach out to me if you're looking for new construction builders, because I know some of the incentives and some of the builders, and we can work together to get you the best deal right here in Southwest Florida. All right, so moving on, and when I look at the Naples market, I like to look at the amount of listings versus pendings within the past week. And I'm trying to see if there's a trend to determine if there are going to be more listings that hit the market than actually sell. And if that happens, that means the market is really shifting in a certain way, and that's really not a good way. So when we look at the past week, we have actually seen more homes go pending than have actually hit the market, meaning that we're still in a seller's market, believe it or not, here in Naples, Florida. So the whole idea of a pullback doesn't really make much sense when you actually look at the data. Also, when you look at the fact that more and more people want to live here and more people are trying to flock down here, and the weather that we have and the beaches, I think the future of the Naples market is going to be okay. One last thing I like to look at is the rental market down here, and it's still climbing. A lot of this is because buyers are on the fence, and they're just thinking, should I buy? Should I rent? What should I do? They're just kind of tossed up. Most of the rentals on the market are still getting multiple applications, and that shows that there's still plenty of demand for the rental market. So for people that are on the fence, you have to take a look at some of the things and make a decision on, if rents go up and rents are still going up, I could buy a house, I could lock in that price, I could lock in that community, regardless of what's going on in the world. Now, to me, that makes sense. And I know it needs to make sense for you, though. So let me know in the comments if you're thinking, hey, I don't know what's going on and I'm kind of nervous and I think I might rent, or hey, do I think it's a good idea to kind of head to the buying route? I'd love to know your input on what you're thinking. Like I said, buying or selling a house is an emotional decision. Even the most analytical person can talk themselves in or out of purchasing a place at any given time. You could walk into a kitchen and you and your spouse see the dream kitchen that you've been looking for and you just fall in love with it. It's got your favorite countertops. It's got that big open feel that you've been waiting for, and you just make that decision. Or you walk out to the backyard and you see this beautiful lanai and this beautiful pool, and your kids have been wanting that for a long time, and you could see yourself hanging out there at night and just entertaining and having a great time. That's where the emotional decisions get sucked in for you. And it is a very emotional based decision, and you have to really determine where you're at. Now, in my opinion, there's never a bad time to buy a house if your horizon is long enough. If you're one of those people who wants to speculate with the real estate market, where you're, popping in, popping out, holding a house for 2 or 3 months, try to flip it, try to make some money, well, now might not be the perfect time to be doing that. If you're looking to buy a house and your horizon is 5, 7, 10 years down the road, maybe it is a good time, and the time is now. So reach out to me. I'd love to help you in any way that I can, or at least guide you in the process, whether that's today or years from now. We're always working with clients that called us years ago and have been thinking about making a move down here, and they're finally moving down here. We get that all the time, so we'd love to hear from you. So I'm always here to help you. Hit that subscribe button. It's nice that we're always putting out content about what's going on in the real estate market and what's going on with life right here in Southwest Florida. And I look forward to seeing you guys on my next video.